Yo, hey, have you ever been this close to a sale only for your lead to backpedal or even go quiet? Well, this training session is going to dive deep into the art of handling objections so that way you can handle your hesitant buyers through the DMs so they actually convert instead of linger. We're going to break down exactly how to approach price resistance, timing your objection overcoming, and how to deal with uncertainty about your product, all using methods that build trust without feeling pushy. Throughout this video, you're going to hear about techniques like the dynamite close and the dream question and when to use each of them to keep the conversation moving forward. Plus, we're going to share a few real chat examples where these techniques actually turn a hesitant lead into a paying client. So if you're ready to see how these simple and effective responses can help you tackle those hard objections and close more deals in the DMs, let's get going. All right, and here we go.
Hold up. Um, yeah, I feel like I mean, we could keep the question the same here, but I like a different question because like, what were your biggest takeaways from the video? 1 to 5K, they're seeing the VSL, so we want to switch the question up a little bit, and maybe just ask, awesome, like how was or do we know if it's a medium quality lead? Does it say on there in the picture?
Let me check. No, it
But
didn't show,
we can
but I
assume,
think 1 to 5 is like medium quality.
yeah, 100%. We can assume that. So instead, we can just ask them, how was the video you saw? Because they saw the VSL
Oh,
second.
yep.
I mean, how was the video you saw? You're good. Like that's good grammar.
Oh, okay. Got it. I thought he was finished.
Oh, what did he say? I kind of missed it.
He said like the program, but not sure if he can record it. So I think we'll go. What do you think, Chris?
First little change. We don't need the and. It's the first thing we're saying. So just a little grammar check there. Um,
Oh, oh yeah, because I was thinking I will connect it with this one.
um, yeah, it's tough because this is obviously our first step in the process. So it'd be tough for me to want to deviate against it. But the only thing my mind was thinking was like that he is kind of teeing us up. Like it'd be pretty easy to say something like I hear you, man. Like what did you like about it most, or like what appeals to you most? But in our process, I mean, that is like step three. Not saying you have to just go with the process all the time. That's my only thought here. But other than that, I mean, I like what you got here. It's like not a problem. I hear you. But even that middle part, I'm not sure if we need that exactly because he's not saying I'm out or he's not saying it's too expensive. He's like, I'm not sure I can afford it. So technically, it's not even a real like, it's not even a real
Yeah,
objection. He's just basically saying, not sure if I can afford it, which means like we need him to not sell himself even more. But yeah, it's like I like the program, so I almost just want to ask him, cool, like what'd you like about it most, or like what appeals to you most? But yeah, that's what my thoughts are. What are you thinking on your end?
yeah. Like after you said it, I think like uh I think it would be better if we go on the route because this is not like he didn't say he's out yet. So yeah, I think I will go on the route.
Or and maybe we even take out that first part. And it's like not a problem. I hear you, because again, we don't even want to say like it can maybe even infer that there's a problem. It's like awesome, man. Glad that you liked it. Uh, what what or maybe then maybe we keep the question the same. It's like awesome, man. Glad that you liked it. Uh, does everything about the process make sense, or do you have any questions for me? I like that a lot. Basically not creating any resistance with like a I hear you. I know we may not be in a position. It's like awesome, glad that you liked it. Oh well, oh, you already said awesome that you like it. Yeah, that make
Yep. So
okay. Got it. So we were just quick on the response. Got it. Okay. So I guess we're assuming here that we weren't too quick on the response. So we'll assume that we said awesome that you liked it after you said I like the program.
yep.
Got it.
There. Nó giặt đồ rửa. Để giặt đồ rửa trước. Không đọc. Sau. Wait. Why after I refresh it will pop up like this.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we got it.
My phone was being highly annoying right there. I was like typing and then like it kept on typo, like it would just wouldn't type in the air, like my fingers are pressing in spots and it just like wouldn't it like wouldn't process, it like wouldn't do my spaces. I'm like, come on, I'm trying to type this message.
Okay. So uh, I don't want to go like into like holding a spot like in a month or two, because he might like get lost in the way that getting there. So I think we should go like on on the downside, or maybe should we just like dynamite like
Yeah, this is kind of funny. He's using well, like from my perspective, he's using like he's using like multiple chats here. He's using he used a survey from RJ, and then not sure I can afford it is from a chat from yesterday that we did do the downsell. And then I've seen the response in the chats before where it's like, is the offer still good for then? Um, so now because now he's full blown saying the only thing stopping me from moving forward is the investment, but I should be
yeah.
able to afford it in a month or two. Is the offer still good for then? Hmm. Oh, and this guy RJ he did say the same thing. He said I should have a problem though getting started in November or December if the offer still stood.
Mhm. I mean, if it's like a week or two, definitely go for like holding a spot. But like right now, I think he already make like 1 to 5K. I think he can handle like 997 a month. But like he need, I think he need like a little push, like the dynamite script, because like that explains to him like if he can he join now, what he get now, and he can like make money like right now, right?
I mean, my thought process is if someone says they're ready to get or they're ready to afford it in a month or two, that's definitely too far out. Like we have no idea what could happen in a month or two. Like if I tell someone, it's not that I'm like BSing, but if I tell someone, yeah, I should be able to afford it in a month or two. I don't want to. I mean, in our position, I don't want to not that I don't want to lose them, but I don't want to leave it up to their hands because who knows what
Yep,
happens in a month or two. Maybe
yep,
they invest in
exactly.
another program. Maybe they're not ready to go. And now that we have the downsell, to me, the downsell is definitely where we go because then as well, we have them in our not in our hands, but we have them in our program if they join the downsell. Then when he is ready in a month or two, we can upsell them to the 997 or even upsell to a mentorship program. So downsell is definitely, in my opinion, the move here, but it's more about uh, navigating it correctly and how quickly can we go to it. And yes, what you're highlighting right now is also an option, like to make sure they actually see the value in it because we technically, like, other than
Yeah.
him saying I like the program and like I should be able to do it in a month or two. You mind going back to it for a second?
Oh,
Only thing stopping me from moving forward. Okay, process definitely makes sense. Okay, so
I
yeah,
think
actually, I don't think I don't think he actually needs like more of a push here because he's already said, I like the training video, I like the program, process definitely makes sense. So, like we we have enough there, so we don't need to ask any more. So I don't even know if actually I like that last question that we just highlighted because it's like I personally feel like he does see the value. He's like everything makes sense, it's just the money. So
mm, so. How about go straight for the dynamite? And if he said that, yeah, but he still need like a month or two, then go to the downside because like the dynamite script, like he can like he like consider it like if he can like join now and he work it his ass off and make money like right now rather than like he have to wait for like for the downsell?
The reason I don't necessarily love the downs or the dynamite here is because he's already said I can't afford it twice. So kind of pushing one more time with the dynamite.
Mhm.
I mean, even though the dynamite is fantastic and it's great use when we use it right. This reminds me. I don't know if you saw the chat from yesterday, but there's a chat from yesterday where we kind of had the same exact situation. It was with Ralph. Um,
Oh yeah, I
he
remember that.
he basically said he watched the video, not sure if he can afford it. So we asked him, does everything make sense? He said the way you presented it, perfect, likes the automation. We asked him if it'd be worth it, but again, I don't feel like we need to ask this guy or this
Mhm.
lead right here,
Yeah.
or Wally, if it's worth it. And he said, I think it'll be worth it, I think. But like again, this isn't the same scenario because we've already had. I like the video. I like the process. Makes sense. We did ask that guy what appeals most.
Okay. So I think yeah.
I'm thinking I think it's okay to ask our first downsell question here. It's like, so what if there was a way you could get started? I think it's okay to go to that here. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be a little early. That's my thinking. It's this question right here. I don't know if it should be in the survey somewhere, but I just dropped it in the chat.
Oh. Mm,
But we also do want to address the question. It's like, okay, yeah, I think this is what I feel best with. It could be wrong. Well, I could say there might be a better way to handle it, but I feel like I got a somewhat good grasp on it right now. Yeah, so we can keep it simple. We can say, I hear you, man, or got it, that makes sense. Um, we can just vaguely address the question he asked. Is the offer still good for then? Um,
wait, should we say
impossible.
should we say something like I'm not sure if it's available because the spot are filling up like pretty fast and we only work with like 7 people with at a time. Like should we put some urgency?
I'm not
No.
not exactly because that's not like, or we're not gonna push for that same offer because we're gonna introduce the downsell. You just say something super vague like it's impossible for me to tell whether there would be spots be open or like if there will be spots that will be open right now, something like that.
So wait,
All right, I guess we don't really need because it's like it's impossible for me to tell if I would have spots open then because it's so far in the future. Yeah, I like this. I mean, it's copy, so there's probably a million ways you can write it. It's impossible for me to tell if I would have spots open then because it's so far in the future. And then we can ask the question. And I would take out the so. The so isn't really it's not needed in this one. I would see how we feel about this. So they said the process definitely makes sense. The only thing stopping me from moving forward is the investment, but I should be able to afford it in a month or two. Is the offer still good for then? Got it. That makes sense. Possible for me to tell if I would have a spot open because it's so far in the future. What if there was a way? Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about it.
sir.
Could be wrong. Could be something better we could have done, but that's took us a while to get there. But hey, I mean, we have multiple options at our disposal when we're closing. So yeah, and we'll see based off this response if it was how good it was. We'll see. How do you mean?
so we go next to the dancer, like explaining.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like, cause yeah, now we're just explaining the like he's just asking a clarifying question, like what would that look like? How would that work? Um, I don't know if you have it or if it's in the document yet, but I can paste it here from the chat.
That would be perfect. I don't think we have that in the script yet. I put it.
Yeah, so basically we can respond with this one like good question, and then go into explaining what that would look like. Hmm. Okay, so either he's just being challenging on purpose, or that means we should have maybe gone a different route earlier and maybe asked more questions like, do you think it'd be worth it or appeals to you most? So maybe we did miss that, but all we can do is handle what we got now. So how does that sound? Sounds interesting. Can I think about it? I mean, the easiest thing to do when can I think about it is
Dynamite.
what would you say?
I think we should go for dynamite, like right here.
No, I'm not totally opposed to it, but I guess because my first thought, and when someone says, "Can I think about it?" My first thought is saying what's on your mind. But what's your, yeah, if you can convince me, what's your thoughts on doing Dynamite close? Because I'm not totally opposed to it.
Yeah, because I think the dynamite, like explaining to them, like they cannot lose, like when they invest in this program, because like uh, the best case and worst case, like worst case, if he like didn't like the program, he can like refund like within the first week, right? So why not like try it out for only like 9-7?
Or so I like the thought process. But what if we first go like what's on your mind or something like that, asking him what's on your mind. He tells us like, oh, I'm just not sure. Again, he could just say, I'm just not sure about moving forward or something. And then we go, bam, Dynamite close. If it makes sense. What do you think about
Yeah,
that? I don't know if
that's
Dynamite close
for me.
fully, so maybe we should have done Dynamite close earlier. Maybe we messed that up, but I don't think it fully fits here. It's like, sounds interesting. Can I think about it? Well, actually, yeah, let's see. Do you have the Dynamite?
I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna hop in.
All
I'll
right.
help. I'll help.
All right.
No, this is good conversation though for sure. So I would say Leo, if I was
Yes.
if I was chat closing, if I was chat closing 3 years ago, I would have said what you said, or 2 years ago even, I would have gone Dynamite.
Hmm.
But like I like what I'm noticing, at least just from my perspective, is that like what worked back then, we used to rush things a little bit, and it's just that like people weren't really used to chatting via DMs a lot, right? And so
Mhm.
you could skip steps. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West. Nobody was really doing what we were doing, and we were just hard selling everyone, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fine. That strategy does work, but it also comes with some risks, we'll say, right?
Yep.
So and then the other problem with this is if we would have went dynamite straight right here, and I'm agreeing with the move you want to make, Bryce, where we ask a clarifying question first, and then we choose where to go. Because the problem is if we don't necessarily know what he's thinking about, right? So like we don't know. Maybe he really does not really understand something about the process. You see, like
Mhm.
so there's some other factors there when someone says, "Can I think about it?" And so the easiest thing to do is just to say,
Yeah.
what's on your mind? Yeah, what's on your mind, or what do you like basically a way to get them to share very easily what they're thinking about.
Because
Got it.
if he comes back right now and just says, "Yeah, I'm just still not sure if I want to invest, or I'm still just not sure if I can afford it," then bam, we can go down to my close right away
Yep.
again. Because it's
No,
like, dude, we've already talked
exactly.
about this.
Yeah,
Here's
Sir.
a question about.
I might say something like, yeah, like I'm not really sure how I'm going to generate leads on my profile. I'm not sure if it's going to work for me, right? I could say something
Mhm.
like that, you know.
Mhm.
And then, but if you would have dynamited me immediately, then we would have lost the opportunity to be able to address that concern, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. Hmm. So it is the budgeting. Like he doesn't have any other question.
Yeah, quick or not sidebar, but like side note. Side note. Maybe me and Wally we talk about this or joke about this in my hours. Maybe we need a customized closing line about how cheap $97 is. Like hey, do you drink coffee, or like do you have any do you have a $7 expense that you spend every day? Like 'cause if you do, you can I mean, I'm just spitballing here. This is not the coffee would be, but anyway, we have that at our disposal at this moment. But yeah, I mean, I think it's dynamite close. Um, I think the program, what you said, trying to figure out how I fit into my budget, and it's like, okay, got it. Well, let's think about, yeah. I mean, I feel like it flows perfectly. It's like, okay, got you. Like, definitely understand where you're at, or definitely understand that. Well, let's think about it. And basically, you're inviting him. It's like, yeah, let's think about this together. We're like, you're telling him now, yeah, you could definitely think about it. So let's think about it. Like, here's the worst case, here's the best case. It's honestly like the a perfect fit right now. This is funny. This is just reminding me of like three different leads. It's like April, RJ, and Ralph, like all combined.
It's like it's a blend of all three, or are they all the same lead? And that's why you remember all three. But we
If it's all the same lead, then I'm Shotkeeper's brain isn't working this morning. If it's all the same
no,
lead.
no. What I mean is it's like technically it's like the leads are a little different, but they all kind of present the same.
Okay, got you. I thought you were gaslighting me right there.
No, no, no. Like they show up the same, there might be three different kinds of people, three different, but they all kind of show up with a similar objection, the thing that they have to overcome. Yeah.
100%, which would all be it'd be price. We can't afford it. budget, same thing. Money. It comes down to money at the end of the day. Oh, I mean, you're totally fine, but just for your own knowledge, we have a tag, right, for Dynamite Close.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, I
yeah.
mean we're set you're getting the message off regardless, so it doesn't matter. But just for your like when you're in your own time zone, you're in your own hours, like yeah, you could make that easier on yourself.
Yes, sir.
And it's good because we set the timer up so the automation sends like it waits a couple seconds between each one. Again, we're messaging Wally right now, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So now we have some options to play with, but I think I know where to go. I don't know if you saw this chat yesterday, but we are working on April. Did April buy it? April, you need to hurry up and
Yeah.
buy it. But anyways, April after that said that sounds amazing. Okay, yeah, I mean I love this question that Wally curated yesterday. Um, I will put it in the chat. And I need to put this, I'm running a note for myself. We need to put this in the document for the process. Okay, so this is the question. It's like, yes, that sounds reasonable. Okay, great. Because basically his he gave some price resistance. And so he's already told us he's trying to do it later. He's already said, I mean, that was the old offer, but he said, let's wait a month or two. So now I mean, there's a lot of psychology that goes into this copy right here. But yeah, essentially the question is a would you rather do it later or sooner question.
Yeah, so this line that we're using right here is like it's very yeah, I'm making it really believable. That's kind of the whole purpose of that line, right? It's like, all right, you said it sounds reasonable, and then now I want to make it even more believable that you can attain it before we take it further.
It's like, are you really telling me that you can't close one policy in 30 days? And then if you can close one policy in 30 days, which everyone should be able to do, like, do you think that would cover the investment? And it's kind of like a silly logical question. It's like, yeah, if you close one policy, it's gonna cover the investment for multiple months, which is also in the copy.
Yeah. I think she missed this one. I remember this message.
Yep. And then now, I mean, now we have a new, it's not a new process, but we've seen this work multiple times. Um, and so we can do the same thing. Um, do you have that screenshot from Hillary? Do you have that downloaded?
Yep. I think I have it.
Yep. So we can just use that. We can say, okay, great. Drop the screenshot and then say, yeah, I guess I had a question for you on that, Wally. Do you think it's better to say, okay, great, and drop the screenshot, or say, okay, great, here's Hillary, and then drop the screenshot, or does it really matter? We're talking about semantics here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, semantics.
Okay. But I guess let me get those messages for you. And we need to
Yeah.
put this
I
in
think
the script as well. So that's two things.
we have that can in here. In
Oh, we do have the can already.
yeah, I think this one.
If it's not
Oh
canned, then I'll post it here for you as well. That's two phrases we need in the document if they're not in, or two canned responses.
You're looking for Hillary. It should be here's Hillary. I don't know if Hillary. I don't think here's Hillary is on that script document yet.
The two things we need to add are the later rather than sooner question and here's Hillary.
Is it like setting the picture? Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a really powerful sequence that we just took care of here through here.
Sir. Shit.
Okay, so this is the part where we might need a little bit of help, right? So it's like, all right, so we kind of teeter up, but then now we actually have to like get this person to take action, right? And so they already been kind of like price resistant. So it's like, this is usually the question mark, right? I mean, so I like it. Like that's the spirit, I would say. So we needed like a phrase, something like, okay, so let's not wait any longer. I can send you the link over to get started, like right now. You know, is it cool if I send it over? But you see what I mean? Like we need some kind of phrase that's like that. Because if they just told me that they don't that they should have joined yesterday, they feel like they feel like it's worth it. You know what I mean? And they feel like we've gone through this whole process now, right? And so it's like, all right, cool. Well, then now, like they've given us the foot in the door, so to speak, to like push them.
Yep.
Now, because it's like you feel like you can follow instructions. You see this is a good deal, like you know that if you can just get one policy that you're going to be able to pay for multiple months, definitely worth it. You said you wanted to get started yesterday. Okay, let's not wait any longer. I'll send you the link right now to get started, and then cool if I send it over. Or you could even you could say you instead of saying cool if I send it over, you could even say are you ready? Are you ready? Right. So like yeah, that's going to be the key difference with these chats versus the IUL chats that we've had so far. Is we've been more selling on our heels, right? Um, and we're selling on our heels because technically the price of the product is like $5,000, right? They're paying $497 a month, right? And it's like it's a long period of time, or it's like indefinite, so to speak, right? And so like when these people were paying that money, right? They're obviously going to see the dollar sign. We sell a little differently, because it's just a little higher price, right? But this, it's like $97 a month. Like I'm going for it. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
like I have no reason not to push you.
Sir.
Oh yeah, we have to. You guys need to. We have to use the new PLDs whenever we drop for this one too. I need to swap that in the.
Oh, we need a new POD link or
Well, yeah, because that's the 497 a month link right there.
oh got it. So I think you have oh wait.
Monthly checkout page is right there.
monthly check. Oh, there it is.
Didn't even see that. He said F it. I'm ready. I didn't even see that till right now. That's hilarious.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So let me do this. Cool. Put my screen back up. All right. Awesome. So biggest takeaways. So we'll go with man in the seat. Man in the seat. Biggest takeaway.
So the biggest one I think for today is like confusely never buys. Like we should always like clarify before we move forward, even like with the downsell or anything like that, or even like dynamite script. Like we need to know like where he said like do we have any question like at all? Like we have to like get through all the question before the downsell, like before the money.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. The way I would think of it, it's well, what you have to do in sales is you have to isolate objections, right? And so someone says, I don't want to buy something, okay, but they may have 5 objections, right? Then you like, I hope that we get one chat like this. That way we can take someone through every single objection overcome. I think that would be cool. I think we have had one where we used every single one in the flip chats. Bryce, do you remember some of those that we've used every single script in the book? So
Yeah.
I want to say one of them was Chartreuse, or like one of those people that came through the chats or something. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so uh but the point being is that when someone in sales, like we're overcoming objections, but you usually can't overcome more than one objection at a time, right? So what you have to do is you have to like get clarity, ask them a question to clarify what they have an objection about, and then you can then splinter out the different ways to handle it, right? So it's like the first one might be time, and then after time they might talk about money, and then after money they might talk about like maybe
Process.
not understanding the process or whatever, right? And so what you want to do is you want to pull them out one at a time, because that's the only way we can really do it. And we don't want to we don't want to try to, we want to make sure that we handle the objection one at a time too, because like, let's say we only partially handle the objection, but we don't really like get rid of it, it's like, okay, they're like, whatever, then that's going to be resistance later. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we want to make sure that we isolate it. So that's what I would say. It's not necessarily a confused prospect doesn't never buy it. I think that's a good principle. To me, the underlying principle is, or the overarching one, I should say, is like we want to isolate objections first before we try and handle them. And then once we've handled all the objections, that's whenever we can go into our down sells or our dynamites or anything like that, right? Because if you don't, like, if people still have a question in their head, then and we try to like, I consider dynamite closing like a hard closing tactic, right?
Yep.
It's a hard closing tactic. So like before you like shift into like more like a little more up, like higher pace of sales, and you're being a little more persuasive, like you want to make sure that you've already gotten all like the little questions out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to turn on the pressure and they still have questions. Because if you turn on the pressure and they still have questions, then they're just gonna ghost you, right?
Yep.
They're just gonna leave.
The last takeaway would be the last question, like we should like we should push them forward, like just a little push when everything like is like when we see like they are kind of ready, and but they are a little bit like hesitant about like not sure, like
Well,
we could go through all the objection and the downsell and all that stuff. So
yeah, I wouldn't say that they were necessarily hesitant. It's more that it's more of like it's like we've already gone through handling so much, right?
yeah,
Like if you
yep,
look at like there's like so much psychology happening in this process as we like take them through it, right? So let me just walk through it real quick. So first things first, so we go for the downsell, right? So this is important. How do you mean? So we do the downsell. Cool. Can I think
Oh,
about
wait,
it? All right.
wait, or a quick question right there. Was that, would you say
Yep.
that was the right move right there? Because I know we took a while. We had a heavy discussion on that when you were like, good conversation.
yeah,
Was that the right move right there to take him to the downsell, or would you have done something different?
So I think going for the downsell was okay. I think there's a split option right here, right? The split option is downsell or broke flow. Um, so
Ah, okay. We had both, I think. We were thinking about both of them.
yeah, you were thinking about
yep,
both, right? And so what the only thing I would have maybe done differently when I went through this, but it's not necessarily like I don't think it lost the sale, which is why I didn't really say anything. But what I might have done differently right here is right whenever he says it's the offer good right here at this point, I would have edited the first broke flow message just a smidge, because I already talked about the aside from the money thing, right? We were or like anyway, so I would just edit it just a smidge, and I because what I think is really good about the broke flow question one is I agree with what you said, Bryce, which is that like I already like the prospect already saw the value, so that was cool. But where what I do like about broke flow one is that it gets them to dream,
Hmm, got it.
right? So if we go into the script, IUL agent, right? Man, my computer is like not having it right now. Why? Why? It's like it's just like loading so slow. Hold on one second.
wait, how about I share my screen with you?
I got it. I got it. All right, cool. So like right here. So obviously you can edit this. You can annul this first part, right? So assuming this part's not there. You know, if
Yep,
you were able to attract your ideal clients with the right content and messaging in the next 30 days. So when you ask someone this question, yes, it is a value question, if that makes sense. But it's also a dreaming question because what I'm getting them to do when I ask this question is I'm getting them to imagine what it would be like attracting their own ideal clients with like basically using the mechanism. Does that make sense?
yep,
Yep.
So I do like I do, and we could have thrown this line in somewhere else if we wanted to as well, right? I think this we basically did this again later,
yep.
right
We did.
after the dynamite, right? Because we
Yep,
used another version of this, another version of the same idea, which is like getting them to dream, right, about right. So hey, considering you just need one policy from social media using my system, right? Like this is getting them to dream again, right? Thinking
yep,
about it. Um, but you see what I mean, Bryce? So like I do see value in the nuts and bolts of broke flow one. So I might pull that out if I feel like I need to like get them to dream a little bit, right? Because that's really the key with this kind of sell is remember that we're essentially selling a transformation, right? Like, and what I mean by a transformation in this case is like, and it's funny because I'm about to draw this, and this is like, out of all the years I've taught like opportunity selling or like this type of selling is like, I've never found a better way to draw it, but literally, um, I bet you can probably guess what this is going to be. Okay, so like this is them. This is them. They're happy, kind of, right? But right now, or I should actually flip these. Hold on one second. Let me. I'll actually flip this arrow because I was gonna explain it differently, but I don't want to confuse you guys, so I'm gonna explain it this way. All right, so this is really key, right? Like right now, they are this dude. They are super unhappy, right? They are unhappy. They're very unhappy. In some form or fashion, right? That's the only reason why they're talking to us. Because if we weren't unhappy, then they wouldn't be talking to us, right? If there's not a problem, then there's nothing there. If there was nothing about the ad that triggered something in them, then they wouldn't be talking to us, right? So they are in some form or fashion unhappy, right? And what they are unhappy about is their current life, right? And what I mean by their current life and what they're unhappy about in their current life is like what does their day-to-day look like right now? So the people that are our leads, right? Their day-to-day is that they probably buy leads. They're not really sure if they're going to monetize. They do a lot of these different things. I'm not going to repeat every single pain point for you, but so they're experiencing this pain, right? And then obviously what we are selling them, or what we're basically selling them is this transformation right here, right? This is what we're selling them. Because on the other side of this thing that they buy from us is what? Their happiness, right? This thing on the side. Yes?
Yep.
So what we are selling them is the system, right? Or the mechanism or the training or whatever it is, right? This is the vehicle that's going to take them from unhappiness to happiness. You see? And so it's we're selling that transformation, right? So as much as we can get them in the sales process to imagine and envision this, right? Not just like on an intellectual level, like understand it, but like actually, like you could even, that's why, one of our sales principles, we talk about like selling the dream, right? And we use phrasing like, imagine if you could do this, or what would it look like if this, that kind of stuff. That language is very powerful for selling this transformation, right? Because it's so interesting because it's like when I use the word imagine or I use the word yeah, any kind of those like imagery type languages, right? You immediately put someone in a trance. Like that kind of language like immediately puts you in a trance where you're like no longer you're here still reading stuff and you're like still present, but like your brain is now active in a different way, right? And so like when you're in that trance, you're able to be persuaded and you can have like that's kind of the thing that we're doing. So when we say like imagine what would your life look like, or imagine what it would be like if you could just get one policy from social media every single month using my system, right? And so whenever we're using that language, we're painting that dream in their head, which is what we need in order for them to want to buy the transformation. You see? Cool. Yeah, that's gonna be an awesome one for YouTube. Anyway, Bryce, what are your takeaways?
I think the biggest one was just discernment. I mean, we kind of like touched on it a little bit, but basically discernment with. I like that we have so many options that we can go. I mean, we have the sooner rather than later question. We have the here's Hillary. We have appeals most. We have would it be worth it to you? The dynamite, the downsell, the social proof, and basically just discerning like when the good time is to use them. Basically, our conversation like which route do we want to go there? Do we want to go broke flow, or did we want to go just immediately go downsell? I mean, that's about again more discernment and seeing how warm are they, where are they at, like do they love the process? If they've already told us 3 times, makes sense, I love it, then we might not need the what we just talked about, even though I think looking back on it, I probably would have done that now. So if it comes up again, if we use the same process with Ange, then I'll be able to cheat and use that question and say we can go. Would it be worth it to you? And then go down sell. So, but yeah, we have options. So just making sure we can taking 5 to 10 minutes is like that's not a problem at all with these leads. Just take 5 to 10 minutes, think about it, like what's the best move here. And obviously over time that's even going to get quicker and quicker as we see more chats. But yeah, that'd be my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I like it's like you, you just have you have options. That's a good way to do it. I think of it like cards, right? It's like it's like basically you have a set of cards and it's like these are what I can play, you know? And it's like, all right, cool. Which ones are better for now? Which ones are more lower risk? Or I shouldn't be lower, like which ones can tee me up to use a better card if I want to use that same analogy, right? It's like if I want to use my hard closes, well, I can't just use that right off the bat because it's not going to be effective, right? So you have to tee up a hard close with other things to get there before you use it, right?
I think that's what I was gonna say before you lagged out. Dynamite close is definitely either if you want to call it the ace in the hand or like your last bullet in the chamber. Like that's your last little like does it sound reasonable to you? Because if it doesn't, then but we can end this conversation because we've already talked to you a lot. We can tell you're interested. We just need to get you over that last little hump. And if you're not willing to go over the last little hump for $97, then it's like all right, peace out.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
already done
Now,
everything we can.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cool. Yeah, so what I think might be useful for you guys is well, it's funny because you notice that with this offer, we've already like because we have downsells and different things like that, it's already more like chat closing than it was before, you know? Versus like in the other one, it's just straight up, hey, it's $497 a month. Cool. You can afford it, awesome. Afford, you know, whatever. And it's this one, it's like, all right, it's because they're getting pitched the 997 up front, right? That's the difference. So anyway, cool. No, good takeaway. Definitely want to think about all the bullets in the chamber for sure. And the key like points for me whenever I'm thinking about what bullets in the chamber I want to use, right? Remember that like people, there's like three things that people need to know, right? It's either it's the product, it's the person, and then like believability, right? And so like for us, whenever we're thinking about which bullet in the chamber to use, right, we should be thinking about these three things. We should say, okay, like where are they on a scale of 1 to 10 about the product, right? Meaning like the program that they're buying, do they understand it? They see the value, everything like that, right? And then we don't necessarily have the problem of the person per se, right? Because we do a good job of establishing credibility. They watch a video, all that stuff, right? So that part is not necessarily as, it's not to say not as important, but it is sometimes a factor though, right? Because you might have someone in the chat that comes in and is like, yeah, Brandon, I just met you on the internet today. Like, why should I buy from you? You know, like that happens, right? Cool. Another way that manifests also, is like sometimes people will say like, oh, well, like other people are selling me IUL leads. What makes your stuff different than that, right? That would mean to me that they're not like super sold on the product yet. They don't really understand what it is. See? So usually whenever people ask questions, you can usually identify where they are in the spectrum if you look at this, if you think about this kind of matrix, right? And then like the believability one is like, yeah, I'm not really sure if it's going to work for me. I've tried social media before, but it didn't really work, or I've hired a marketer before and didn't really get anything, or I bought leads for it. You know what I mean? So usually by the question that they ask or the statement that they say, you can kind of figure out where they are with one of these things. And then you kind of know your game plan to attack going forward, right? Because if you know, oh, okay, well, they trust me, they like the process, or they like the video, right? But then let's say that they say, it'd be like after the VSL, it'd be something like, okay, like, so how are you going to get me leads exactly? Like how do I get leads? Like, what's the process? Or does that work? Right. That would mean that they don't really understand the product, right? There's something that they were confused about here. So then we need to give them more explanation about that. That way they're solidified, right? So does that make sense? These are like the three pedals that I think of whenever I'm like trying to overcome objections. And I'm like, okay, like which one is it? So that's why sometimes whenever I'm talking to you guys, like I'll pull out something that like might have been weird or might seem weird. And it's like, okay, why did he go that direction? And it's because of this, right?
Got it. Yeah, I would say based off from what we've seen, it's definitely like believability one, product two, because we still get product questions and we have all our canned responses for that. But I would say believability is like the biggest thing that we've been seeing. But yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Which is why we have like the Hillary script now. And then considering you just need one policy to do, so it's like all these like little things to make it more believable will now help bolster that up, right?